Pretty big week for the submarine industry, and I know it's very sad, thoughts and prayers, but the one thing I don't understand is people saying that this is somehow going to put a damper on rich people getting in refrigerators and going to the bottom of the ocean. This is the single biggest thing that's ever happened to risky deep sea vacations since the first Little Mermaid. Everyone I talk to about it, the first thing they say is, I didn't even know you could take a submarine down to the Titanic whenever you wanted. Well, a lot of people didn't, and every single person on Earth knows now. Sure, it didn't end great, but this is just them having their Mount Everest moment. Like, for years, you had to be the very best mountain climbers in the world to get to the very tippy-tip top of Mount Everest and look out and be like, whoa, or whatever. But then in the 90s, these companies started sprouting up that were like, hey, you don't even have to be good. For $100,000, we will slap a gas mask and a slanket on you and drag your dumb ass up to the top of the world. One of the first people to try it led to one of the greatest tragedies that has ever happened on Mount Everest, where 8 people died and it turned into a pretty good book and movie. And you'd think probably everybody realized this is a bad idea and they should stop doing it. But instead, every year more and more companies sprouted up to do it, and every year they set records for the number of people who get to the top of the mountain. And it's gotten to the point where like a 13-year-old has done it, an 80-year-old has done it, a blind guy has done it to, I guess, Listen to the View, and a vegan did it. Like, they're all very brave people, but if there's something that a 13-year-old, an 80-year-old, a blind guy, and a vegan can all do, maybe it's not that difficult. Maybe it's mostly just expensive. At this point, saying you want to climb Mount Everest is like saying, hopefully someday I can conquer a Ferrari. It's gotten so bad that a few years ago, a guy died on Mount Everest doing a cryptocurrency stunt. And that is the worst sentence I've ever said out loud. That's why base camp looks like the day after Coachella, and the summit of Mount Everest looks like people waiting in line to go up Space Mountain in their sleeping bags. So no, this is not the end of Titanic tourism. In 15 years, the decks are going to be covered in garbage, there's going to be a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum next door, and someone is going to die standing on the bow trying to advertise their crypto scam.